Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is about Akwa-Ibom State Governor Oluremi Eno, who allegedly appointed his daughter, Mrs. Helen Eno-Obareki, as the acting First Lady of the state following the death of his wife, late Pastor Patience Oluremi Eno. The announcement was made during the condolence visit by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, and other dignitaries in Uyo on Friday. Of course, many obviously said this was inappropriate. It came with lots of criticisms. They said it was wrong for him to do that. But he has also come out to say he never said that. He said that he made it clear. What he said specifically, according to the governor, was that when the First Lady came, that he said because his daughter is special assistant to her late mother, she was in the right position to coordinate the office of the First Lady of the state. So he wasn't appointing her as First Lady. He was saying that as a special assistant, she can coordinate in the office of the First Lady. But either way, of course, it was interpreted in 10 different ways. But the conversation now is the office of the First Lady, number one, is it constitutionally recognized? What's the role of the First Lady? And is it appropriate for you to appoint a daughter, a sister, someone to be running things in the office of the First Lady? That's the conversation, because once we agree with the governor of Akwa-Ibom State, it's possible that other governors might begin to consider it. So anybody can say, you know what, First Lady, stay at home. I want my daughter to be in charge of your office. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081-0764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourView TVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so we have heard the tweets, and I'd like to start with you because you're a lawyer amongst us, to see the legal angle first. Do you is this even right? Is it recognized, and is it illegal, or is it okay?
The office of the First Lady is not constitutionally recognized, so there's no provision that legitimizes or illegitimizes it. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, the ceremonial appointment for certain CSR that the office of the governor or the president would like to be carried out. Yeah. And on their own, we interviewed the former First Lady, and she was saying how she has to raise funds for most of her charities. So she uses the influence of her office, raises funds, and does her reach outs and all of that, uses the influence of the wife of the president and people who would like access. So she can call on a Dangote and say, I have 1,000 children displaced in certain places. I would like foods, I would like that. And so that's what the office is about. So if Governor Eno on his own decides that, upon the death of my wife, I cannot leave this office vacant, he can choose whoever. There's no legitimacy or illegitimacy about it, because the Constitution does not provide for it and does not legitimizes the creation of it. Because if it has, all these years, I'm sure that the Femi Falanas and the Gani Fawemi of this world would have spoken up about that, such offices become completely declared redundant, but or null and void. But they've never been declared null and void, and so it's not an office that you can decide. I think he can choose whoever.
Now that we've gotten that angle, BC, what are your thoughts on this declaration? Let me not say appointment.
If he had appointed another woman for that position, they will say the woman is the side chick. He's not even waiting. He's not even allowing somebody to rest in the ground. He's already carrying woman publicly. Now he decided to appoint somebody who has been working with the lady, his wife, who knows what plans they've made so far. When you work as a special assistant, you're like, you know everything your madam has planned. You know all the projects people, because most of the time you are the one even handling the project. So you know what needs to be focused on. You know where the resources are going to be gotten from. You've had conversations with the people you're doing the project with. You can easily, fill in the gap without your madam's presence. And so he's decided to, okay, just go ahead with it. And then people are, coming up against it. Is it a family matter? Is that a family business? Let's even temper justice with mercy. Let's even act like human beings. Do we expect him to start fishing for somebody else, since it's not a constitutional position in the first place, to now start looking for, okay, who else will come and fill in this gap? Once is the person who has been handling it, whether it's the daughter or not, I think it's a given that she can handle that. Whether it's the daughter or not, it shouldn't matter.
Mike, what are your initial thoughts on this?
Let's give us.
What are your thoughts?
I think The first person that wrote the story gave us a misleading. He said they he has announced his daughter as the first lady, acting first lady. So I think that is what caused the
rancor.
But he later came out to explain. So since he has come out to explain, apart from the nepotism, I think it's okay.
And he
why is this nepotism now?
But we'll come to the issue of nepotism in a second, but does this raise an issue of the fact that maybe we should begin to legitimize this office? The reason is because we know how important the role of first ladies have been. On Babangida's time, when we had
Miriam
Babangida,
Yeah, for the influential one that
so they were quite influential. They actually have capacity. We saw what Fayemi's wife did in Ekiti.
Not all the first lady did.
So she drove when it comes to issues of domestic violence and rape, she put that matter on her head. So she ensured that they were able to have a public what's that thing? Registration of offenders.
Okay, public offenders
so these are things that first ladies have fought for. So it is an important office. So, and the reason why we have laws is to legitimize things like this, because there's a possibility that maybe the wife of the deputy governor might feel that, well, in this, I was working with my first lady. Unfortunately, she died. I would like to step into those shoes to do the work. And so why you now bring your daughter to take over? So that might cause a rancor, don't you think?
At the risk of being interpreted to compel marriage for governors. You know, we have one governor now in Benue, no have wife.
Even the Edo governor, they say the governor-elect say
you know,
No, that one have plenty babes. So we cannot know. He doesn't want an Oshun episode, so we don't know who we be.
Okay.
But when BC was talking, she was talking about if you had put her down, they'll say she's side chick. Yes, so it happened before. You know, the governor of my state, the former governor, who lost his wife in office. And within his term, we got a new first lady. I don't know rest on this.
They didn't rest. Though.
The spec they describe, she's a side chick. She
has been there.
They describe her. We see, it's still in my corner of my mind thinking, what happened? What led to how quick she became first lady? That's just to buttress that in BC have said.
Yes. So the deputy
back to legitimizing.
Should we
is at the risk of compelling marriage. So if the first lady's office is that of a wife, if a person doesn't have a wife or loses his wife in office, it cannot be filled without the certificate of marriage. Then people will go to court and interpret who should be a first lady, how she should be. So your daughter can then be a replacement.
Yes.
It's better left the way it is, since it's a charity CSR position.
She should continue to act.
To do the work.
Anybody can then do the work.
For her to become acting first lady.
No, of course
not. Does that mean the deputy governor's wife would now have to be answering to her when it comes to the project that have been collectively agreed? Hang in there for a second.
Now you're talking.
Do we put a structure around? Because now deputy governor's wife and
no, we're discussing law now.
I'm just saying that.
No, you're making sense.
Yes,
because if the governor, what they call spare tire, they call the deputy governor spare tire to the office of the governor. If you legitimize first lady, then become that they are spare tires to the office of the first lady. So in her absence, that of the position should be immediately filled by the first lady. Of the deputy governor's wife.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what you're...
So I'm just saying, these are the conversations that would start happening. Let me come to you.
So I think there's what they call a gentleman's agreement. Because the hierarchy, we're looking at the hierarchy now, the governor's wife first, then the deputy governor's wife, before the PAs or the assistants, right? So that's the order of hierarchy. Now that the governor's wife is out, the assistant should not be above the deputy governor's wife. But they will work together. So she stands in for her madam that is no longer there. But then she understands the hierarchy that the deputy governor's wife is higher than her. So they will have to work together. It's not something we need to start writing. This is how we should use our brain sometimes to understand some of these things. Now, where the project comes and there's a form of disagreement, they can always find somebody who, probably in the committee, who would decide, okay, let's do this first and let's do that first. I don't think the deputy governor's wife would, after a death, will now come and say, okay, it's now my turn to shine. I want to now take over the project and all of that.
It's not about a turn.
We have to go on a very short break. I mean, I know this is a conversation that I'd like to expand a bit more. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.